So that's actually the reason why in year 8, or like start of year 9, I moved back to Canada. So I went to go live with my auntie, my mum's sister.
And it was just you out of all your siblings?
Yeah, it was just
here?
me. Well, the first time I went there, my family came. We had like a holiday, and then they obviously left, and I stayed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very like, again, just more character development. But that honestly was probably the catalyst to like changing everything in my life.
Yes, my people, welcome back to another episode of Where's My Podcast. And today we are joined by another special guest, somebody who I'm an extreme admirer of. I think she creates amazing stuff. I'm joined by Tiffanie Alice, the founder of Parallel X Studios.
Hello.
Tiffanie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast
Thank
today.
you for having me on.
Thank you. So, as I said at the beginning of every episode, I'll just explain why you, the guest, are in the chair. Obviously, for you, the most obvious reason, like I said, is that you just create sick stuff, generally. And I feel like when I see certain brands, I like to call it the why and the how.
Yeah.
So, no, the wow and the how, sorry.
Okay.
So, I see Parallel Studios, I'm like, wow. I'm wowed by the bags, I'm wowed by the belts. I'm just like, what is this? You know what I mean? It evokes a feeling where it's like, I see brands all the time, but this one is special. This one is different.
Thank you.
And then maybe because now obviously I work within the fashion space or whatever, then becomes the how. Because my whole thing is, it's one thing creating a band where, you know, you're printing on a t-shirt, blanks and all that stuff, or even just cutting and sewing certain things. But with bags, I'm like, how does somebody make stuff like this? So that's part of the main reason you're here today, because I really want to break down, you know, how you're able to create the amazing stuff you create.
For sure.
Your designs are so special, so I really want to delve into your design language. But I think more importantly, I'll say the most important reason why you're here is, obviously I follow your TikTok, I watch the type of content you put out, and I can genuinely see that you have a desire to help people by sharing your story.
Yeah.
I think you have an incredible story, and as someone I consider to be, you know, like a polymorph or like a hyphenate almost, I think I'll be doing our audience a disservice if I didn't allow someone like you to come on and speak and share what you've experienced and how you do what you do.
I need this motivation every day waking me up.
You deserve it.
You to just be my alarm.
Tiffanie, you deserve it.
This is amazing.
Honestly,
Thank you so much. No, it really does mean the world to have me on. Thank you.
So cool, let's get straight into it. What was your upbringing like? What background are you from? Take it away.
Yeah, so God, it's so loaded. There's so much lore. I was originally born in Canada. So yeah, I guess my story kind of intertwines with my mum's story. So my mum, I come from a huge family. She had my 3 older siblings in London. And then her sister lived in Canada, and she went through all this turmoil, all this situation. Honestly, my mum needs to write a book because her life was insane. Long story short, she had some madnesses in London, so she wanted to be closer to her sister. So she moved to Canada because that's where her sister lived. Then I was born. We lived there for a few kind of years of my early life. I don't really remember much of it at all. And then my mum decided like, oh, actually I prefer like England. So she moved back to England, and she had my 3 younger siblings. So I've got 6 siblings. I'm the middle child. So I think that already kind of forms a lot and gives you a lot of character in life, because sometimes you're like too old for the younger ones, too young for the older ones. So I just found myself by myself a lot of the time, and in that time I would just literally like create scenarios from the shows I would watch, and just from like my imagination of like what I wanted to do when I was older and all of those things. So that my creative kind of journey started as far as I can possibly remember. Upbringing, I mean, how much do we want to get into that? I mean,
whatever you want to say.
I mean, yeah, I mean, not to have a sob story, but I did not come from much at all. We were kind of raised in like council houses, things like that, council flats. And then also when we lived in England, we lived in Essex. And at the time, Essex now is actually quite multicultural, quite diverse. A lot of people from London have like migrated to Essex. But at the time, we were like the only black family like in the whole area that we lived in. So it was really hard, to be honest. We had a lot of racial attacks. No, like, I'm laughing. It's not funny. So yeah, that was very character building. Like, people would burst my mum's like car tires and like insane things. Obviously at school, people would say out of pocket, crazy stuff. So kind of everything in my formative years was
character building.
And was very much like, you are different. You know, that was very much the messaging I got early in my life. But I never really like saw it as a negative. I thought, wow, okay, this is interesting. I'm like different. Like I just kind of observed that, and I kind of always had that in my mind with everything that I did. And then kind of fast forwarding to
sorry Tiffanie, let's stop there actually. I really like what you said about how you never saw that stuff as a negative. I find that so fascinating more than anything, when young people are kind of able to rationalize their difference in a positive way rather than a negative way. What do you think it was about you or your family that kind of enabled you to know that you were special rather than different?
Or I should have probably opened with this. I come from a Congolese family. My mum is Congolese and my whole family's Congolese. And so we are kind of naturally quite extroverted people. We're like very proud to be different and to be loud and to be colourful. We express that in loads of different ways, but especially fashion. So that's like the first thing I knew was fashion. So I kind of always just saw it as like something positive, because that's how it was kind of framed to me from my parents and my family, and saw it as a power. Even if, like, you know, the people at school were making fun of me, like on non-school uniform days, I would dress up. I would show them I'm really Congolese, and they would just be like, what are you wearing? And like, but I always just like, girl, please, you don't know about this. You know, like, so I never really felt, even if I felt, I don't know, shame or like some kind of way, I never expressed it. I always kept that inside, because I just didn't want them to like,
you didn't want to give it life, or
I didn't want to give it life. Exactly. And I genuinely thought like, there's something special about me. I know that sounds so insane, but I was so young, like feeling like there was something special about me. And so kind of fast forwarding to, I think around like year 8, I basically had a situation where I was deported back to Canada.
My research didn't show me that though.
No, I mean, you can't find that on the internet. This is a breaking news. But I was deported. Basically, my mom is from Congo. At this time, like, there was so many language barriers, and, you know, immigration was just very different also in the early 2000s, 90s anyway. So she wasn't sure what stipulations, what things she had to do to give me my British citizenship. She thought it'd be fine because she had her British citizenship and all my siblings were British. So I was the only one with Canadian. But every time we travel, have family holidays and stuff, we would always get stopped, and they would always be like, why does she have a Canadian passport and you guys are all British? And it was always this like confusion. And there was one time we were coming back from a trip, and it happened again, and they held us in immigration for hours, and they basically were just like, look, she's technically illegal here. So you can apply for her to be British, and she'll most likely get it because she's been living here for a long time, and you know, my mum's British, exactly. But she has to leave to remain. So that's actually the reason why in year 8, or like start of year 9, I moved back to Canada. So I went to go live with my auntie, my mum's sister.
And it was just you out of all your siblings?
Yeah, it was just me. Well, the first time I went there, my family came. We had like a holiday, and then they obviously left, and I stayed. So that was very like, again, just more character development. But that honestly was probably the catalyst to like changing everything in my life and leading to me to where I am now. I went from being in a very, very like white area and white school and not seeing much of me, to being in like, my school was like 90% black, and it was insane to me. But
and was this in Hamilton?
This was in Hamilton, yes. But it was crazy because I still had this difference, because now I was the British girl, right? So, but people were really positive about that, and people were like, yo, the way you dress and the trainers, you know, Canada is not like a fashionable place. So it doesn't take much to stand out as like a fashionista, but you know, I'd wear my outfits to school, and also it's there's no uniform. So I could fully
every day
like,
was a fashion show.
Every day was a fashion show. If you go on my Facebook, every day was a fashion show. But, you know, now I was receiving praise for it, and I felt like a sense of confidence about it, and that was really nice. And then that's where I discovered Tumblr. So that was the first, because I moved there in like 2012, like literally like peak of the kind of Tumblr and
era.
The internet was just kind of just forming, you know, we were still on Facebook and stuff. And And Tumblr's where I started like posting about how I was styling my outfits. Because at the time, people weren't shopping in thrift stores or charity shops. It was still seen as like, that's gross.
Yeah,
like, ew.
especially by black people.
Right, exactly. Literally. So whenever people would ask me where you get your outfits from, and I'm like, oh, it's from like the thrift store or charity shop, they'd be like, what?
Wait, how come you were on that stuff already though?
So I grew up on that. My mum, like, again, we didn't come from much money at all. So my mum, it was just normal to me. Like, we would go for new clothes, we'd go to charity shop for toys, we go to charity shop. Like, my mum put me onto all that stuff. And she was queen of charity shop. She has, like, to this day, she has, like, Balenciaga bags and sunglasses and Chanel, like, crazy collection of accessories, which now makes sense to what I'm doing. That she would just find in like different charity shops wherever she was, because she lived in like San Francisco for a bit, and my mum's like lived all over the place. So that's just something she just instilled in us from young. So it wasn't weird to me, but I realized, oh, this is like weird to people. So then people were like, wait, I kind of like were messaging me on the low, like I kind of want to shop in charity shops. Like, how are you doing it? So I would literally just post how I'm going to charity shops, show them what I'm buying.
Wait, you could do, because Tumblr's obviously was just pictures, right?
Yeah, it was just through pictures and also just like text.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like, I guess, a blog.
Okay.
And I started gaining a following from that, which was cool. And I was like, oh, this is cool. But like, you know, influencers weren't really a thing. So I didn't even see it as anything. I was still, you know, just in high school. And then I got my British citizenship and I moved back to the UK. And then now I was the Canadian girl. So like, I just have all these like different identities, because basically I was meant to go to college, but because of how the grade system works there, I had to go down a year. So I had to basically redo year 11. So I went to another high school, one that I hadn't been to before. And everyone was like, oh my God, you're from Canada. Like, that's so cool. Like, it was just insane.
But you didn't have a Canadian accent or nothing though?
No, not really. But I guess the thing is, sometimes when I speak to my siblings, sometimes it does come out.
Okay.
Because they lived in Canada like when they were older, obviously. Okay. So it's so confusing. I know there's like so many different moving parts to my story. But yeah, I came back, and that was kind of like when Instagram had kind of really taken off and stuff. And yeah, I just continued kind of just posting on there, and my following kind of migrated from Tumblr over to Instagram.
But sorry to cut you, Tiffanie.
Yeah, it's fine.
You know how you came back obviously older as the Canadian girl now?
Yeah.
Prior to being the Canadian girl, you were the Congolese girl.
Yeah.
And, you know, people made you feel a type of way about it, right? How did they view you now as the Canadian girl? Was it in a more positive light because you were fly?
Yeah, 100%. That's when I realized people don't actually know what they think is like cool or not. And it's like none of my worth or anything of my identity amounts to like what people think about me. But at this point, I was very much like solid in my otherness. You know, I was fine with being a bit different to other people, you know? So yeah, sorry, I completely forgot what I was saying.
No, I really like what you just said about you became fine in your otherness. Like,
yeah.
What do you think it is about, what makes being other special?
I mean, I personally think everyone is other and is special, but the mass majority of people will conform themselves to fit something acceptable, palatable. You know, most of us care about what people think, and that's like normal. Like, I guess that's just a normal human thing, but you have to really do the work to unlearn that and be uncomfortable for a while, like standing out in whatever authenticness you want to like stand out in, until you're confident in who you are as an individual. If that makes any sense. Like, I just think like a lot of your average Joe, like most people, everyone's weird. Like everyone is strange. And like, there's so many things that people do behind the scenes that we would have like no idea about, like, or have amazing talents that they just hide because they're just scared about feeling slightly different or something like that. Or even just standing out is like uncomfortable for some people. So I don't see myself as like, I don't want it to come across like, oh, I'm so special. I just think that like,
you're just you.
I'm just me, like unapologetically type of thing. Like I've just got to the point where I just really don't care what people think about me. So I just wear what I want. And that seems to like fascinate people. but it's been normal to me for so long, as you can see from like my story.
So at that point where you had come back from Canada, now you're in college, right?
Yeah, I'm in college. I'm posting like actively online. This is the era where everyone's posting on, like Snapchat was.
Oh, it's popular.
I was big on Snapchat back in the day. Yeah, I was posting every single day. Also, like my household is like so many people, so it was insane. It's insane in my house, like every day. So I was like vlogging. That vlogging wasn't even a word, but I was like vlogging in my house. Like everyone knew my mum. It got to the point where my mum would go out and people would be like, bro, I seen you on like Tiffanie Snapchat. My family members would literally get recognized. I was just showing my kind of my life, and like a lot of people relate to it, especially Congolese people, like young Congolese girls, because I think we don't really have any representation anywhere in the UK. Maybe because like I guess our language is like French, so maybe there's more representation in Paris. I don't know, but yeah, they just really related to me till now. I think that kind of rings true as well.
Yeah. Do you know what? And I don't know how you would agree with this, but going back to what you was talking about, how when you were seen as just the Congolese girl, obviously I've grown up around Congolese people that have become family, and I remember seeing them experience that. Oh, you're Congolese, ha ha ha. Even for other
like
Africans,
a joke.
which don't make sense
to this
because
day
you were so expressive and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so do you reckon that was part of the reason why other Congolese girls saw you and felt empowered, because they're like, or other Congolese people like, you know what, she's reveling in her culture. We all love our culture, but we've been made to feel as though we shouldn't express it or be proud of it.
I'm so proud of it. Like, I'm so proud of being Congolese. I literally like love being Congolese. I love the music, the food, the people, like everything about it. And I'm just very loud about that. And I think even now, like, some people don't know I'm Congolese and they find out and they're like surprised. They're like, oh, really? Like, that's crazy.
Why are they surprised though?
I don't know. I think we just don't see many Congolese people at the forefront. Like, I think people, like, maybe if you think about a Congolese person in the forefront of like media in our space, maybe it's like Nella Rose. Like, who else?
Eddie Caddy.
Yes.
Who else?
Exactly. You know, it's like mostly, you know, other African countries. So yeah, there's not really many of us, but there is loads of us.
Yeah. And you're loud and proud. But yeah, anyway, I'm just happy that you said that anecdote, because I think it's important for people.
And I kind of feel like a little bit salty, because I think, especially like a lot of the Congolese artists like Werason and Kofi and all of these like iconic Congolese
style
artists,
icons,
bro, like they've been styling since like forever. And it's crazy that they're not like invited to like fashion weeks, and they're not like Met Galas, and they're not like in the forefront of fashion, when everyone knows the large conversation about Congolese people is our fashion. But instead, I think because we are like Black African, it's a joke. But if like I feel like white
it's
people
almost like you're almost like caricatured.
Yeah. Whereas like when white people wear like some stuff inspired by Congolese people, it's like so amazing and revolutionary and cool. So that's another reason why I feel like I'm really like vocal about being Congolese.
It's good. Even to that point, I remember seeing, is it Kofi Olomide? Is that his name? Yeah. He was wearing those goggle things. Yeah. And then that became a trend not too long ago. Yeah.
Years ago, that literally became a recent trend. Like Acne made like glasses like it. I just think, it's just
hopefully
insane.
that will change though. With people like
hopefully.
You,
hopefully there's more of us that come up.
So now we're at college, right? Yeah. And college is an interesting space, because eventually you need to go on to uni if you want to go into uni, and you need to start deciding what you want to do with or get from life. So at this point, did you know you wanted a career in fashion? Was there anything else that you wanted to do?
So like I said, like when I was younger, I watched a lot of TV. Oh my God, like MTV and like Disney Channel and all of those channels were just, I just would live vicariously through like these people. And I just wanted to do everything creative. Like, there's so many things I wanted to do, but I was pretty consistent about the fact that I either wanted to be a fashion designer, an actress, or an interior designer. Those were three things that I always was like, I want to do one of those.
Interior design is so interesting. That's something. I get you're an aesthetics person, but it's like, as a young person, it's not. You don't often hear someone say, I want to be an interior designer.
It's because my household was like so chaotic looking. Like growing up in a 3-bedroom household with a family of like 9, it was a squeeze. And, you know, there was suitcases everywhere. And I remember just thinking like, like going to bed, like imagining like a house that I would have in the
vision
future.
Board in your house.
Like literally, I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. I was a kid. I was literally a kid. But I remember just thinking like, I would have this room. Because I also had to share everything, you know. it's not just sharing rooms, sharing beds, you know, top and tail.
Been there.
So I literally had this passion of like, you know, I can't wait to like have my own house one day and it's going to look like this and this and this. So that's kind of where that came from. But yeah, I always went through those three things. And then I kind of figured fashion, I think, just comes so naturally to me. And I kind of was battling between interior design to actually like study it and gain knowledge in it, and acting, because I was like, acting, you need to be trained, like, to be good. Well, not necessarily, but I just think that, like, you know, you should invest in, if you can have a natural acting talent, but I think you should invest in making yourself better at it. And I ended up just thinking, okay, let me go to acting school, because I feel like I can still do the fashion stuff on the side. By this point, I started working with brands on Instagram. Very little money, like £100 here, £100 there, but like, to me that was so much. I had like nothing, and I was like, cool, I just get to get free clothes and I just have to post like a couple stories or something. This is amazing. So I went to acting school.
How did your family feel about that?
Do you know what? I actually think I had quite a unique experience with coming from an African family, where my mum was always very supportive of creative things I wanted to do, which I know is not the experience that most African families get. Yeah, since I was young, she was always saying to her, like, her friends and stuff, oh, she's going to be probably like famous one day. Like, she's so good at this and that. So my mum was always supportive. My mum and my dad were both super supportive. Yeah.
Wicked. So cool. You decided to go to acting school.
Yeah.
So continue from there.
Yeah, so I was auditioning, and honestly, like, I had to scrape together, you know, the money I was making from social media. My mum helped me out a little bit with that, because you have to pay for auditions.
Yeah, it's not like a uni course.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Which is honestly just so, like, the acting industry is just so, I don't know, it's kind of private. Very private, which is, you know, disadvantaged to disadvantaged kids who have this natural talent. So a lot of, very elitist is what I then came to learn. I ended up going to this place called Drama St. Mary's in Kingston. I started there in 2017. That was also like very transformative. I learned a lot. I actually like kind of fell out of love with acting, which I think sucks, because I think a lot of people go to uni studying something they love and then they end uni hating it. Yeah. If I was to do it all again, I actually would not have gone to acting school. I would have maybe done like a course in something to do with fashion or design or something like that. But I don't think anything happens by accident. I think also part of it was just that, oh my God, I get to move out of the house. So I was hyped for that. You know, I had my own space. And I think when you have your own space, you can like create a bit more freely. And so that helped me kind of think about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Because I think I actually realized in like first year, like, don't know if this acting thing is for me. I love acting. I've always loved like acting in theatre and the film industry. I still have a huge passion for it, but I don't know if it's like in the line for my career. I mean, while I was in uni, I took my mental health. My mental health my whole life wasn't great. I think naturally, if you grow up in like a deprived situation, you're also black and like all of these things, like a lot of our community has mental health issues anyway. So I struggled most of my life, but I think uni is when it really kind of manifested, because I was by myself and I had like, I don't know, there was no distraction. I had to like confront, you know, my mental health issues. And
you actually had time to think. And like,
yes, exactly. And so I honestly really suffered in uni with depression, like badly for most of the time. I feel like the Instagram jobs kind of like slowed down. The bigger like other girls were getting, and like, you know, I wasn't getting like near enough and like the same amount of money as them and stuff. And yeah, money wise, it just wasn't doing good. So I actually started a brand during uni to try and make some money.
That was the pure reason why you started the brand, Jen.
That was the pure reason I started that brand, which is why that brand no longer exists, clearly. But yeah, I started this brand called We Are Girl. If you know, you know. And I had no money to manufacture my own actual design. So I just was buying like stuff wholesale, and then like I had a sewing machine. I'd customize it, I'd cut it up and try and make it like slightly cool. And to be honest, I did get a few sales. I also got stocked on ASOS. Like, yes, like, not gonna lie, the brand didn't do bad. Like, it actually did okay. I got like money to be able to support myself throughout uni, because, you know, my parents couldn't support me. And then like I just was like, I just don't want to do this. This is not like the clothes. I'm not passionate about this. And I just kind of stopped doing that. So I think that takes us to about 2020.
Oh, that big year.
Listen, that's when that year. So it was my last year of acting school, and I honestly was doing well. I was getting like main parts in a lot of the plays that were happening, and I was starting to kind of like love the acting and stuff. But then obviously pandemic happened. Like we literally came to uni, and it was our last year, mind you. I came to uni one day and they were like, today's your last day, guys. Unfortunately, like obviously this COVID thing, we don't know what's going to happen. We were meant to have like a big show in the West End and stuff for our final exam, which then hopefully leads to getting an agent.
Yeah, because they'll come and watch.
Exactly.
It's almost like a showcase.
Exactly. But we didn't get to do that. So I was just kind of like, I need to think of something because I can't just move back to Essex. Like, first of all, there's no space for me in the house. Like, one of my sisters has moved back in and she had children, and like, where can I go? Like, I have to figure out something. At the same time, unfortunately, my dad got really sick, which ended up being cancer. So that was really hard, but I could barely see him because obviously I was in like uni at the time and he was in Essex, and you couldn't even like travel around. I don't know if you remember, it was just insane. So that year was honestly hellish. After I graduated, I did actually end up moving back to Essex. I moved in with my sister and her boyfriend. I was like sleeping on their couch, which honestly, I don't think a lot of people, I think people will be very shocked to hear this because since I started like doing social media, people have this perception of me being rich.
Oh, they live some lavish lifestyle or something.
And I'm like, is that my fault? Have I like put something, because I feel like I'm always really like open about the fact that like I don't come from money, and like, yeah, I'm from like this town, in this random town in Essex, and like, but I think people will be shocked to hear that, because I think a lot of people do think I like have money. Like people ask me for money like all the time.
What?
Yes. There's like strangers asking for money. And obviously now I'm in a different situation, but I think at the time people would be shocked to hear that I was literally sleeping on my sister's couch, like thinking, what the fuck can I do? Can't get a job, because I also had experience like doing social media for some companies. I do that on the side, sometimes freelance to get money. I always had like some sort of hustle going on. But no brands were hiring. Obviously no one was hiring. It was just such an uncertain time. So I was on her couch for maybe like 6 months almost. And then her and her boyfriend were like, oh, like you kind of have to go to like back to mum's, because like, that's fine. And I completely understand that. And I was like, yeah, that's so fair. I end up moving back in with my mum's, but there's no room for me. So I'm now just in the living room, in the couch at my mum's house. This is like start of 2021 now. My dad's also just getting sicker and sicker and sicker. I was just thinking, I have to do something.
Sorry to cut you, Tiffanie.
Yeah.
During that time, I feel like everyone in this room, everyone listening can attest to the fact that when you're going through difficult times, you need some sort of outlet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For example, when I'm going through difficult times, this is my outlet. Do you know what I mean? Did fashion become an outlet for you from like a mental health perspective, or even just being able to be creative in a time where it's like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to?
Fashion was always my outlet. I mean, I kind of felt like that moment when I had to move back in to my mum's house and I was on the couch, it kind of just felt like, okay, this feels like when I was a kid again. Like I was just using my imagination to imagine myself out of this scenario. And like, truly, I think that's like was the beginning of my whole belief in manifestation. I know like sometimes it can come across like so generic, that whole topic, but it is true. Like truly, when you imagine like a better situation for yourself and you are consistent with that imagining that you do, combined with obviously like the actions you take, you will get yourself out, like you will get to your ideal scenario. You will, like that's just how life is. So I was just imagining myself at that scenario. That's when I started making vision boards of like, okay, when I get my house, this is how it's gonna look, and like this is the job. I would literally write down, okay, I'm gonna get this job to get some money so that I can finally start my own company, because I always knew since the beginning of time I was gonna have my own company, but I just needed it to align.
When you say companies, because you didn't necessarily know what
I didn't know it was
industry
gonna be.
that company would be.
I didn't know it was going to be, but I always knew it was going to do something. And yeah, I knew, okay, it's probably going to be fashion. But I also didn't just want to be like another clothing brand, just making things that... Because I do think I could make cool clothes for sure, but I just didn't know how like interesting that was to me. because also like a lot of the stuff I wear is vintage anyway, so that feels authentic to me. That's why people always ask me even now, like, oh, are you gonna start like a clothing brand one day? And I'm not gonna say like
Wait,
never.
people ask you now?
Yeah, because people want me to have a clothing brand.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, I was thinking.
People want me to have a clothing brand, but I'm never gonna say never. But probably not, because I just feel like we do have enough clothes on the earth. Like, and that's just always been my belief. My belief is always like catering to vintage clothing anyway, but I feel like with accessories it's usually like a bit of an afterthought. Like designers will make a collection and then they're like, we should make some accessories, let's make like a bag and like maybe the hat, and I wanted to hone in on specifically accessories, so that's kind of like a caveat. But yeah, I would just imagine myself at the scenario. I remember saying to my younger siblings, enjoy me while I'm here, I'm leaving. I literally said to them, I'm leaving in 2 weeks, I will not be here. And I was in my mom's house for maybe a month. And best believe 2 weeks after, I literally moved out my mum's house. And also I had nothing lined up. I just said to my siblings, because like it was just not a good situation being in the house. It was really difficult, obviously really stressful situation with my dad literally like being ill and stuff. And yeah, I was like, guys, in 2 weeks I will not be here. And that same week I got like an interview for a clothing brand to be their social media manager, which is just what I needed to just get like money for a deposit to go and move into my own place. So that's what I did 2 weeks later. And yeah, I think that kind of everything was on an upward trajectory. I then was like kind of brainstorming what I could do, and I started thinking about accessories and bags, and that kind of was all flowing. And then a good friend of mine called Arif, which you should actually also have on.
You've known Arif from that long?
Wait, have you had Arif on?
Of course you've had Arif, look.
Have I not? I was going to say that's his top. I literally saw that and I thought that's Arif's top.
Arif and Chad.
So me and Arif go way back. So he's from Essex as well.
Yeah.
But he's from a different like area. I think we met in like 2015.
Was it via the internet or like in person?
I actually can't, I feel like it might have been in person. But we were cool on the internet, and then yeah, we started hanging out. Like one of my most viral pictures on Tumblr, he took. Like it was one of the first times we hung out, and we just were out in Shoreditch when Shoreditch was all the rage. We were out in Shoreditch, like on the train and stuff, and he took pictures of me, and those went so viral of us and stuff. So I've known him. He's seen my entire journey. Like he's one of my greatest friends. Like, and I told him like I really want to start something. He's like, Tiffanie, you've been needing to start something, like 100%. Let me come around. Because I was just like, you know, you talk yourself out of things. I was like, but I don't know how to use Photoshop. I'm not really a tech girl. Like, I'm also not good at drawing. How can I get my designs? I can see them in my head, but like, how do I get them out? And I don't really want to, I don't have the money to like pay someone to do it. So he came round and he literally teach me how to use Photoshop for like 6 hours. He's just the best. I love Arif so much.
Give you a real crash course.
Yeah, he literally taught me Photoshop. He also helped me create my logo, like the X logo. He literally helped me create that. And
that's the one you still use today?
That's the one I still use today.
Wow.
Like, honestly, I love Arif so much. He really helped me that day. Until then, he's just, anytime I need anything, I had no clue how to do this. I just text him. He just helped me. He's just the best. He's been doing his brand since like 2016, so a very long time.
When's the collab coming then?
The collab is coming. The collab's coming, don't worry. I actually saw him literally like 3 days ago for dinner, and we spoke about
good
things. So yeah. So I started building Parallel, and I was getting really excited about it, and I was working for these jobs, and just every day I was going to these jobs because I had a few. I worked for a few brands, and it's very hard working for a startup. I understand that having a startup is hard anyway, but working for one is hard too.
It's an extreme sport.
Yeah, I didn't always have the best experience, unfortunately, with some of the places. So I was just thinking, I just need to have my own thing. Like, it's because I need to have my own thing. This is why the universe is like making me, you know. And then I like got Parallel trademark, got my first samples.
Sorry, why Parallel? Break down that process of really deciding, first of all, what you want your brand to be like. You said accessories, but then why Parallel Studios?
Well, I went on a huge deep dive on my past and my upbringing and what my influences are, and you know, a lot of that is my mum, and you know, she introduced me to the world of fashion. Really, like since I was one, I was wearing her heels and her bags and her stuff. So, I just thought, oh my God, I really like the idea of making bags. Like, I really like the idea of that. I think obviously brands like Telfar are super inspiring. I actually thought, oh, maybe I could make some other stuff too, but we could be known for our bags like Telfar. But then I just started delving into like the idea of, I think the more specific you are about things, the better. So I didn't want to be general. So I was like, let me focus on accessories, specifically bags. It just came to me one day. Parallel, I actually wanted the brand to be called Paradis X.
What, sorry?
Paradis X, which is paradise in French.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted it to be Paradis X because I wanted it to be like, kind of like a paradise, like you're entering another world. But that was actually already trademarked. So I couldn't do that. So I was like, damn, it took me so long to come up with Parallel, you know. But then I started exploring the idea of parallel universes and the idea that each collection or each thing I make can be its own world. And I think that's very like range true in all the collections we drop, because
100%.
with even our imagery and the design and the whole, I always am so conscious about creating a world. Like even the models I use, I know they're sick of me because on set I'm always like, you are in like the safari. Like I give them like a scenario because I need them to become this character from this world. So that's where like obviously parallel kept coming in my head. Parallel. I thought, it's a bit too long, isn't it? But I was just like, you know, I think it's cool. Parallel X Studio. I think that's cool.
Love the name, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And sorry to cut you, Tiffanie. This is for like, I'll call this like a gem moment.
Yeah.
So obviously you spoke about wanting to build like almost like worlds for your customers, right?
Yeah.
Why would you say it's important for brands to do that? And what kind of goes into doing that?
I don't know if I think it's important for a brand to do that. I think it's important for a brand to just be authentic. Like be clear about what you want to translate, you know? I think a lot of brands, you know, start a brand because they think it's easy to have one and it might be a side hustle. Bro, a brand cannot be a side hustle. Like, it consumes every second of your life, especially in the beginning. So I think it's just important for other brands to just remember, like, authenticity. And, yeah, like, really do it because you want to do it. Like, you cannot be motivated by things like money and stuff like that, because that's, we can get onto that part, but that's in and out very much, like, all the time. So yeah, and I think what goes into like creating the world for Parallel, I just try to have periods. I'm kind of in that period now where I am in a reflection mode, trying to be relaxed, not working on too much, and just paying attention to what's inspiring me around me. A lot of my inspiration might come randomly. Like I will just be like walking down the street and I see some woman that was wearing something and I'm like, that makes me think of this, and that. And then that idea can just spark like a whole collection. I actually studied in college communication and culture, which is a course that I believe doesn't exist anymore. But I loved that course. If I could have gone into anything like that, I would have maybe gone into that. But it was basically all about subcultures. Like we just learned about subcultures all day, like mods and Harajuku culture and like all these random cultures. And that was really inspired. I think that really inspires my brand too. I love documentaries. I love finding out about other people's cultures. I think because I come from such a like bold culture, I just naturally have an interest in like, oh, but there must be so many other like cultures that we just don't even know about. So yeah, all of that kind of informs what I'm inspired by for the next world I'm trying to create a collection.
Sick. It's so funny because I'm just letting you flow and you're kind of answering a lot of the questions I already had.
Yeah, sorry if I'm like
no,
yapping.
it's
like
good. That's what I
think.
The less I talk on an episode, the better the episode.
Okay, cool.
So, you know, as somebody like at the beginning of the conversation, I called you a hyphen, a polymath, a real creative. You feel and think so many things.
Yeah.
When it comes to your brand, Parallel, how do you kind of decide what sort of influences you create from? Because as somebody that's seen so many documentaries, you can walk down the road and see this painting or whatever and be like, oh, do you know what I mean? How do you like refine it?
It's not refined. I think it's kind of messy and chaotic sometimes, but I think that's good. Like, I think there's something like really nice about things not being too perfect. And I think that's like authentic to the world I'm trying to create, because no culture, no thing, no topic or inspiration. It's not about perfection. It's just about feeling. Like literally, what's the feeling it gives me? And that kind of inspires like how I create. I hope that answers your question.
It does.
But yeah.
The answer to your question is the fact that you almost don't have an answer, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted you to say, I thought you would say a certain thing, but if that's not the answer, that's cool. So let's go back to like the beginning of Parallel. Was hats the first thing you made, or did you start off with bags?
No, so what I did, which I actually would do differently now if I was to do it again, but I made like a little capsule like collection. So I made a bag, a beanie, I made a necklace and some sunglasses. And I love them for what they represent at the time. I think I was really inspired by like this kind of futuristic idea, because I was really leaning into the idea of like parallel universes and space, and like I was going off on a tangent. So I still love the pieces for what they represent, but I think it's very different to like where I am now. I think maybe what I would do differently is release one strong product if I was to launch again. Just focus on that. I think that's always the best recipe, because when you're new and you're a new brand, you're kind of like presenting a few. My whole thing was maybe I'll have something for everyone here, but you know, I didn't really have the funds to do that, so it wasn't really smart financially. But also I think I'm then sat with all this stock, and it's not even like I ordered a lot of stock, but obviously I'm a new brand, and I'm kind of like, okay, please like this also, and like this, like, and I have to like push certain pieces that aren't really translating. Whereas like if you focus on one solid good product and you just kind of push that, I think that's like a better
method.
Angle. Yeah.
So, and what was the point in your brand building journey that you realized that?
Honestly, I actually very recently, probably this year, I like in like January, because I always reflect. I'm such a reflector. I always reflect, and I was reflecting in January, and I was like, I should just dropped one product at the start. Even now, like I get so many ideas. Like I will wake up in the middle of the night and write something down. Like, Jesus, I need to make this. Like, because I've seen it in my dream. It's so weird. But yeah, I think I get a bit too excited even now, and I release too many things at once, because this brand is most definitely not a fast fashion brand, and I also want to promote like slow fashion, and I want to also give people the opportunity to really take in my designs, because I think we see so much content and things advertised to us all the time. I don't want my pieces that are really considered pieces that I've really thought about and I'm really excited about to just get lost in everything. So I'm trying to like it's so hard though, because I'm just like, but I want to make all of this.
Yeah,
but
that's
it's important to not overwhelm your audience and let people like take in the pieces you make.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, yeah, it's a capsule, it's not a collection, but I have like 10 different pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like, you know, slow down a little bit with that.
Because obviously I noticed that about your brand. It's only been around for 2 years.
2 years,
now? Yeah. But I was like, when I went on the website, don't get me wrong, I liked a lot of the stuff. Everything wowed me. But I was like, there is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so now that you've decided to kind of downsize, ain't necessarily the word, but like, how going forward are you going to choose what you make?
I think we're just going to do less collections. Like this year already, we've done that. We've done less collections and focus on, like just a few capsules, things that just make sense. Like, for example, we just had our pop-up in April, our first London pop-up, and we're not releasing anything new. And that was in April. We're not releasing anything new until like start of July.
Nice.
So just taking our time. There is literally like, also, if this is something I want to do for a very long time, there's no rush. I think sometimes as a brand owner, you can feel like, oh, I need to, but like this would be really good for this trend right now that people are loving. But fuck all that, like respectfully, excuse my language. I just feel like my pieces I make, I try and make them as timeless as possible while still being interesting. And you have to believe in your product. And I feel like, okay, even if I release this next year, I believe in this product and I believe it's still going to do well. Like, yes, I know you have to like catch certain moments in the industry, like to benefit financially. But, you know, the whole point is remaining like authentic and remaining small almost in a sense, you know, as much as we want to grow. I have no interest in scaling like super quickly, you know, quicker than I can handle, because it's still just me. I don't have a team, you know. If I do get help, I just will hire like a freelancer here, a freelancer there. But for the most part, it's just me. So I want to make sure I can kind of handle the pace that we grow as well.
Yeah. It's important. It's important because I'm sure that you didn't start off as a quote unquote business person. You started off as a designer, somebody wanting to create. So over time, you've had to grow into a business person. And the lesson you just gave us is business, right?
I think I've always been money-minded. You can't grow up broke and not be, because, you know, you're aware of the lack. Do you know what I mean? So, like, my mum and dad have always said it, like, this girl loves money. But no, because, like, I just have always thought, like, there is so much money in the world. I want some of that. Like, this is insane. So I've always had a side hustle. Like, I was like a Depop seller for a long time. Like, I'm making actually like decent money on there, to the point that I actually ended up working with Depop and like did a campaign for them at one point. Like, I always had like some sort of side hustle. But yes, there's a lot of business things I learned that I was like, where am I learning this from? Also, at the time, like, there wasn't ChatGPT when I first started. So
imagine if there was.
Now, game changer, like game changer. That's my assistant for real. But you know, there's so much stuff I learned that I was just like, what does this even mean? You know? But yeah, that just comes. The answer's just, I'm still learning like every day now.
Just got to keep doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. You mentioned something about, you know, wanting to create timeless pieces. I think that's so important for bags, especially.
Yeah.
As a guy that has sisters, a mom, a partner, like, I know how important a woman's bag is to them, and they want a bag that can last forever.
Yeah.
I feel like you've got so many bags that give me that vibe. You've got the Lolita bags, the Becky bags. So can we just talk about how you design your bags in particular? Like, let's go from, because in one of the questions I wrote about how I feel like the Lolita bag is more, there's a bit more branding on it. Obviously, it's got the X on it. Do you know what I'm saying? But then you move to the Becky bag. Betty, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. And that's your mum's name as well, right?
Mom's
sorry,
name.
my mum's name.
It's all right.
The Betty bag, which is obviously different. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, talk us through your design process for the Lolita and then the Betty bag.
Well, I think there were two different worlds. The Lolita collection in general was like, you know, what was inspired by the Harajuku culture. So I feel like there was like, literally in the name, like Lolita's like part of the Harajuku culture.
Wait, what culture is that?
It's like a Japanese subculture.
Okay.
They kind of dress like baby dollish.
Oh, okay, yeah. Makes sense.
So I think the inspirations were different. I'm trying to think about the difference and like what. I think they're both sleek and classic, but in different ways for two different types of girls in my brain. Like, I think maybe you'd wear the Lolita bag if you're a bit more eccentric, but that could be like an everyday to an eccentric girl. Whereas the Betty bag is a lot more sleek, a lot more everyday. Like, it's a general, like, that's our best seller. People love that. It's the perfect everyday bag is what we call it. And yeah, my design process for the both of them, I mean, I don't know, the inspiration came from two very different places. With the Betty bag, it was obviously inspired by my mum, so it's named after my mum. My mum always like had bags with lots of pockets growing up because she always like
she needed to
Mary
carry stuff.
Poppins, like
All them
Mary
kids.
Poppins. She had like so much stuff in her bag all the time, but you look at the size of the bag and you're like, this bag is not big. And people feel the same about the Betty bag. They're always like, wait, a laptop fits in here? It doesn't even look
A
like
laptop fits in that bag?
A 14-inch laptop fits in that bag. Oh
my God.
Yes. So yeah, like, I just kind of, that was the inspiration for the Betty bag. And it's so full circle. It's so nice that that's the bag that everyone loves because obviously it's named after my mum, which she's gassed about that.
Yeah, so your mum, I'm sure your mum's got a few then, yeah?
Yes, of course. Of course she does.
So yeah, remaining on the Betty bag, honestly, that bag, I just love it. And
Thank you.
I love how you've built out almost Betty's own universe.
Yeah.
There's the khaki fur, there's the gold. I love the gold and silver ones.
Thank you.
Oh my God. It's just a sick bag, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
But from a business perspective, again, how do you know when you've done too much or you haven't utilized a piece enough? Because obviously the Betty bag has obviously been good for business, you know what I mean? But one day you might say, oh, I'm going to make a cheetah print one. But you don't necessarily know if that's going to be a hit.
We did just make a leopard print one.
Oh, say it done.
Yeah,
say it done. But yeah, so I hope you get the question I'm trying to ask. How do you kind of manage that process?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to focus too much on what's going to be a hit. I think I start there. Like, I think that will just consume you and that will just block your creativity if you try to think too. Like, you need to believe in your design and people will believe in it, because it will shine through. When you believe in your design, it will roll out into the marketing that you do. It will roll out into everything that you do. And I think that translates. I kind of just believe that what I believe in is gonna work. And sometimes it doesn't translate, and that's fine. I'm still like proud that I made that piece. So I think it's about where it comes. I know, like, obviously financially you can't just like make things for bands, like it's very expensive to make stuff, but I think that's where it comes into what I was saying before about really curating the collections that you're putting out, and, you know, downsizing them as much as you possibly can, and not releasing too much at once. Because then it's like, okay, cool, maybe if you have 4 strong designs, then 1 didn't translate, it's fine. It's better than like 5 designs didn't translate that you put out, and then maybe 1 or, you know, if like the collection's too big. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. That does. And the answer you gave, coupled in with the last question I asked, or the last question we spoke about, makes me think about, because obviously, you know, you're speaking about the fact you've got several products, good amount of products, and then talking about knowing what to design and feeling. How much do you use data to help you decide what you want to create? Sorry, this wasn't a question I wrote before, but I just thought of it now. It's all right. I mean, every Monday I do like what I call X analytics, and I basically will just like, it's so important to data collect on weekly on your brand. So I'll just see what's selling, what's not selling, what city was selling in the most. I have all our stats of like best performing week, best performing year, best performing month, like what products are performing. So I look at all of those analytics, and I definitely keep it in mind when I'm designing the next collection and thing, for sure. Data is so important.
But how do you know how to use the data? Because again, you didn't study maths or anything like that, or do you know what I'm saying? So where do you kind of learn those things?
Honestly, it's quite simple. On like, there's so many on Shopify. I personally use Shopify. I mean, they should sponsor the episode. But yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
Shopify.
You listening?
But yeah, there's like the analytics. You can really break it down specifically. Like, there's so many different like widgets and stuff that you can use to get. It's kind of simple to get. I'm not a maths girly by any means, but yeah, it's really easy to follow, and it gives you like really concise data. I mean, even daily I like check the analytics as well, like the short form version, but I'll do like a deeper in-depth version every Monday, and I'll also look across our like social channels to see how that's performing, and see how it's interesting to see like the audience on there and how that relates to the audience that are actually buying. For example, we have a large amount of people who interact with our stuff that are from the UK on Instagram, but who's actually buying is like Americans.
Why is that the case?
I don't know, London needs to just... No, I think Americans, they just have it instilled in their culture of buying and capitalism, and like also just like they have intrigue in, I think, European brands. They see it as like higher quality. This is just what I've gathered from like obviously the culture and the people I've spoken to, like friends I have in America. They see it as exclusive, you know, because they can't get it in their country. So they're willing to pay like the shipping fees or the customs charges or whatever. I think in general, European culture and mindset is a bit like, oof, no. Like if I get parcels returned because there's a customs fee on it, and it's like, I don't know, 10 euros that they have to pay or something like that, it's always like Europe, like for sure over America. I think it's just a difference in culture, to be honest.
Yeah. And sorry to backtrack a bit, Tiffany, but you spoke about marketing. Your marketing is something I'm hugely fond of. You have your personal brand, which I love. How transparent you are about, you know, your journey. Like I love and it's really helped me with this episode, by the way. You know how on TikTok you did the my brand journey, did did 2 parts. So that's helped. That's why I know everything, to be honest. That's
great. Okay, great.
Loved it. But from a Parallel X side, I really liked your marketing for your latest pop-up. The different shoots you did. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
And also I mentioned it in the questions before about the difference between the Lolita branding and then the workwear collection marketing.
That's
and whatnot.
Everyone's favorite.
Oh mate, that campaign is incredible. So yeah, what's your approach to marketing? What's your approach to social media, campaign building? I just want to hear your thoughts.
I think it comes really naturally to me. I think I'm lucky. I think a lot of maybe friends that want to start brands or do things, they always struggle like, oh, Tiffanie, I'm struggling with the marketing. I'm struggling with the social media, because they're not maybe necessarily social media people. I've been doing social media since I was like 13, you know, with like Tumblr and like all of those things I told you about in the beginning. So it's just second nature to me. I haven't had to like hire a marketing agency to help me with a social plan, because I know social like the back of my hand. I know it inside out. I know what's happening on social and the different groups on social media and like what people are talking about. So that honestly gives me a massive advantage in knowing what to post and how to speak online. I think I just try and not treat the brand page like, yeah, of course we want to come across like professional and stuff and like put together in some way, but I want us to like kind of feel like you're following a creator as well. So that's why sometimes I'll mix in and show myself on the page on TikTok specifically and do hauls of like, oh, here's like some new samples I have, or just like little memes, you know, things like that. Yeah, I think it's just about knowing, like really teaching yourself the internet. I spend a lot of time on my phone, which isn't great, but it really does help. Like marketing is social media is 100% of our marketing. We haven't done anything really.
Other than the billboard.
The billboard, yes, we had a billboard for the pop-up, but we've never like paid like an agency to do like Facebook. I've not even delved into Facebook ads, which I know I need to do. I've only like paid to boost a post on Instagram. Like that's as much as I've done. So yeah, it's been very like organic, which I think we're quite lucky to have, because I know that a lot of brands don't have that in the beginning when you're starting from scratch.
Yeah.
I think people, I mean, not everyone, I think a lot of our American customers don't necessarily know, like, I own the brand and who I am and stuff like that. Maybe a lot of the British customers, you know, I had an advantage where they kind of went from my platform over to the brand. I was able to redirect them. Also, like, the customers kind of do the marketing for us, which is, I'm so grateful for. Like, we haven't really had to send stuff to influencers that much. We've never had to pay any influencers to post anything, because customers organically create content for us and tag us and, oh, unbox my Parallel like bag with me, and we just have a really amazing like community, and it's so amazing to like watch that grow.
It's beautiful. I'm definitely not surprised by that, because like I said, when I see your pieces, I can see why a woman would buy, and I know a lot of the stuff is unisex as well.
Yeah.
I can see a reason why a woman would buy that bag and want to share it with people. Even like the gold and silver one, for example. Imagine walking down the road with that, how you would feel. Even the bow tie tote.
Oh, the bow totes.
The bow tote,
yeah,
sorry.
bow tote,
like, it makes sense that people want to create content around your pieces.
Yeah.
Is that something you aim for when designing, or you don't even think like that?
I don't even think like that. I think, like, a lot of people describe my bags as statement bags.
Yeah, that's how they feel anyway.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's great that you guys took that from that. But I'm just like, oh, this is like normal to me. Like, the thing is, I've always been dressing wild.
Yeah.
You know? So I've honestly calmed down. I used to never even wear black, like, but, you know, when you turn 25, sometimes you just...
You just want to have a cap on and...
you know what I mean? You turn 25, you want comfort, I beg. But yes, like, you know, my stuff isn't crazy to me. I'm like, guys, I'm going to get crazier. You guys need to like...
Is it?
Yeah, for sure. I just feel like I haven't even delved into like 10% of what I know I can really design. But no, don't worry, soon come. That's going to come. But yeah, people see my bags as statement bags. I think that's cool though. I think that is cool, because that means that we're doing something different. So that's like a good thing to me.
Yeah, no, you definitely are. You definitely are. I just think, honestly, Tiffanie, your brand is just... I'm even kind of lost for words at this point, because
Thank you.
There's just so much going on in a good way.
Yeah.
And I should have said this at the beginning, because part of the reason I wanted you here is because I want to kind of know what your next steps are with the brand, because I genuinely believe you could do whatever you want with this brand. Yeah. Because I don't liken it to any other brands that I see. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just because of the bags, it's because of the hats as well. It's because of the, you know what I'm saying, the belts and all of that. Yeah, so what are your plans for Parallel? Where do you hope to take this?
Well, that's a very good question. A project I'm kind of working on at the moment is focusing more on male bags, so men's bags. Like you said, like, all my stuff is unisex, so anyone could wear whatever. But, you know, I think that definitely straight fashion guys are picky about what they wear.
Yeah.
Like men, like girls can just find a cool brand and they're like, oh, I'm going to shop this right now. Like I do that, like a small brand. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to shop this right now. I don't care about if the brand has 1,000 followers or whatever. That doesn't come to my mind. But from doing like a lot of like research and also just through guys I know, I think that men usually will buy from a brand if the brand's like already popped off.
Okay.
You know?
Men look for that social proof.
Yeah, because they're kind of like, oh, this brand must be hard. Like, you know, everyone's like wearing this brand type of thing, and then they'll buy something from it. So I definitely want to like delve more into that world, because so many guys, like lots of guys came into the pop-up. Some guys actually bought bags and stuff and wore it who like don't mind. But a lot of guys were just like, man, you need to make more bags for men. Like loads of people were saying that, because they were like, there's not like, I can't name like a men's bag specific brand that like focuses on that. Men usually just go out everything in their pockets.
Yeah, oh mate. Thank God for totes now, though,
Pockets
because
and
totes
vibes.
have been a game changer.
No,
Tote bags
literally,
have been a game changer
for sure.
still.
So like, I definitely want to create more men's focused bags. That's like something I'm actually working on with a dear friend of mine, and that too, just collaborating. People always ask me like, what's a dream brand collab? Like, if you could collab with another brand, and I always am like, I don't know, because for me personally, I feel like I'm surrounded by so many talented people. I have so many like talented ass friends, and it's just my dream to work with them. So even with the men's bags, I'm working with my friends Aziz to like create that. Okay. I'm working on jewelry with one of my other friends. Nice. One of my other friend is creating like a shoe brand, so we're gonna do like a bag and a shoe situation. That's coming up this year as well. Sick. So yeah, just collaborating with people I love and people who I believe in, and I think that's what it's all about. So there's that, and then definitely just like world domination. I would love to have a flagship store somewhere.
Wicked. Where though? Do you have a city in mind or like a specific location?
I feel like I have to say London because I'm like raised mostly here.
I don't think you have to say that.
But honestly, I feel like New York.
Okay.
I would love to have a store in New York. Like that would be really amazing. And yes, kind of going back to the whole interior design thing I was talking about earlier. It's in my plans to launch Parallel X Home. Nice. Because I'd love to create furniture and just homeware, which is basically like accessories for your home. So that's something I'd love to do one day as well. Yeah.
See, I know you're going to do it. And this is testament to the way you design and the design language that you're building up, because although you've created so many things, I do feel like there's things that kind of tie it in together. So because of that, I can, like when you said you wanted to create furniture, I could think of something. And I don't think a lot of brands can say that, particularly brands that are 2 years old. How do you think you've been able to get to that point where someone like me or the next lay person or whatever can envisage what future parallel pieces are going to look like?
I think our imagery helps so much. Like imagery is so important to me. I love imagery. Like I think maybe it's my love of like film and picture and all of those things that tie into that. But I just love like portraying an image I think there's so much in a static image. You can actually have a lot of like emotion. You can be really moved by it. And I think I take that seriously. Like I don't play around when it comes to our shoots.
No, I can tell.
So I think that's maybe what's helped. Like people always send things to me like, oh, this is so parallel. And I love that. I love that you're able to like connect us to something in your mind, you know? So that's really important to me.
Is that something that, I feel like I know the answer to this, but is that something you intentionally set out to do, or have you just been creating and those things have kind of almost happened organically?
I think that was intentional.
Okay.
Because I've always, even when, actually I should have even said, when I was on Tumblr, I was also styling the clothes from like charity shops and thrift stores on models. So I'd get my friends, my sister did hair, so she would do all the hair. And I was mates with loads of photographers, so then I'd grab my photographer mate all for free. I'd be like, I just want to make a lookbook, like style some girls and whatever. And I used to like put those out. And even since then, I've just loved imagery. Like there's some of those images I look at now and I'm like, this could have been a parallel campaign. Like it's insane because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just putting it on Tumblr. It wasn't even like really with any intention at all. And I always kind of knew, I think when I was in my research stage before launching, one of the main things I think that brands don't get right is their imagery and the campaigns they put out. And you don't even need like loads of money for it to look super, like people always say, oh, your brand looks so high end, the shoots look so high end, but they're not even like so expensive. And yeah, I think it's because Like, you could actually probably, what's maybe holding back a business from really flourishing might just be the imagery that you're putting out. It has so much power, like the photos you put out of your product being worn, you know, that's so important. Like, so many times I'll go on these brands' websites and I'll still shop their brand because I fuck with whatever they made, but I'm like, this image is not even doing this product justice. You got to really, like, imagery is like king in 2025 social media marketing world.
It really is, because we really live in a real,
it's visual,
curated visual, aesthetics
visual
led
world, exactly. So that was always intentional to me. I was like, I know the difference between like my brand and another brand will be our imagery. Like, I'm not playing games with photos.
It's paid dividends. Honestly, it's paid dividends. And what I like about what you just said is how you obviously bring these campaigns and these shoots to life. It really speaks to your resourcefulness. When people are starting brands or whatever and they want to create, but they may not necessarily have the resource to do so.
Sorry, I'm just going to put my phone on silent.
That's right.
My phone is always dry. I don't know why now it's deciding to ring off. Sorry about that.
It's all right, no worries. Yeah. What sort of ways do you think people can produce their ideas without having the resource to do so? Like, what are the things you can think of that can help people be able to actually bring what they want to life?
Well, outside is free. You know, go outside. A lot of my shoots were outside. You know, shoot them outside, or if you've got a mate, if you want to really shoot it indoors, or you can create a studio vibe with someone in someone's house with a white wall. You don't need like loads of crazy resource. I also think a lot more people would be willing to work for free than you think. And I personally like pay everyone I work with. Even when I have never like made anyone work for me for free. But when I was growing up, like, and I was creating like different lookbooks and projects and stuff, all my friends around me, we'd all want to collaborate because we're all trying to do the same thing. My friend's trying to get more pictures because he's a photographer and he needs more pictures for his portfolio. Or like my sister wanted more hair clients, so she was just like, yeah, I'll do the hair. You know, you just have to create a really good treatment that everyone's excited about and a good idea that everyone's excited about, and use the people around you. You don't need so many talented people, especially like, I mean, I'm not even just going to say London, because I think sometimes when you're outside of London, you're forced to be even more creative because you have to imagine like so much because it's not in front of you. But I was just going to, before I was going to say like London's filled with so many creative people, but it's anywhere. Everywhere is filled with so many creative people. And I think, yeah, like collaborate with the people around you and you can create insane things. And when you get opportunities, then like it will trickle down. It will lead to everyone kind of getting the benefits from that as well. So yeah, be just resourceful in that sense. I don't think it like requires that much finance. Like, none of my shoots have costed like loads of money, and I think they look pretty good.
They do. They look sensational.
Thank you.
Honestly, I really like what you just said as well about how you compared like being in London and being outside London.
Yeah.
From the people I've spoken to on this podcast and just being around people in fashion in general, I feel like people that aren't necessarily from the big fashion cities, quote unquote, London, Paris, New York, Milan, it's almost as though you have like a positive chip on your shoulder that makes you want to succeed here.
For sure.
Yeah.
I should have even said, like, growing up, I remember thinking, oh, I just have to move to London. I just have to move to London. I just have to move to London and I'll be good. Like, because you're in the countryside with cows, you know, it's literally no exaggeration. Like, you know, you have to force yourself. You use your media a lot. TV, I would watch like all the, you know, before the internet, I'd watch all the music videos and I'd be so inspired by how the girls look. Like, wow, they look so empowered and amazing. And like, you know, all of that stuff kind of, it bubbles up inside you. And yeah, I think a lot of the people, you know, people kind of complain about it now. A lot of the people who are like maybe big in London aren't even from London. And we say they're from London, but I kind of hear that argument. I do get it. But I do think that, you know, London is not the only creative place.
It's not. And credit should be given where it's due. Yeah.
And I think that being from places that are super like countryside sometimes just makes you so creative because you're just forced to be. Like, sometimes the difference between me and my friends actually like raised in London are like so obvious because I'll be around them and I'm just like, oh, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. But they're just like, oh yeah, like we just seen that forever. Like, so then maybe it can
take it for
cause
granted.
some sort of, take for granted and you're not as hungry or, you know, there was a hunger for me to get out of Essex. I was like, no, like I cannot be living here. I'm like the only black girl all the time, and or like, you know, people, I wear my outfits and people are like staring at me or like so shocked, like, here, you can just do whatever. People are just minding their business. So that was also just a big dream of mine, to even just live in London. Like, it's actually kind of crazy, you know, now that I live in
And now
London.
you're doing it.
Yeah.
You've achieved a lot of the things that you set out to achieve.
Yeah,
and
I
you're gonna
really
achieve
did,
so
and
much
it's
more.
crazy.
It's
I
amazing.
think since I always acknowledge and like have gratitude. Like, gratitude is so key, because when you're grateful, more things come. That's my own personal belief. But, you know, because everything I do comes naturally to me. Like, it's just me. It's just me. I don't see it as like, it's just me. But I think doing the pop-up and getting that love in person and people all coming and that being such a big moment is when I was like, shit!
Yeah, look what I've
What
done.
the hell? I've literally done this by
What the hell is-
myself. This is crazy. I'm doing this by myself. Like, also just thinking about like that little girl I was, and just thinking, you know, and to be honest, I think a huge fire also lit under my ass when my dad did eventually basically pass away. He
Sorry
passed
for your
away.
loss.
It's okay. He passed away in 2022. That was like a punch in the face of reality, because I was like, oh shit, we're not here forever. Like, I can't just like put this off forever. Oh, yeah, I'll do it one day. Like, I'll do it one day. Like, no, I need to do this now, you know? And, you know, he really believed in me. He was always so encouraging. I'm just kind of so sad that like the brand didn't launch when he was around, but I know that he can see everything I'm doing anyway.
100%.
But no, it's really exciting, because that just really like woke me up. That's when I was like, and I feel like I haven't stopped since then. But I think recently now I've stopped, and I've been able to like look back and acknowledge, because of the pop-up was just such a huge moment for me. Like, my mum came to, I think, the last day on Saturday, and she was just like, Tiffanie, this is amazing. That was really full circle for me, because she was just like, listen, you've always been a little hustler, but
This is something.
this, like, I think for her also, you know, she's in a different generation. My mum's 60 something, so for her, she's always known, oh yeah, like Tiffanie does stuff online, whatever. But people like she coming and her seeing how excited people are to like talk to me, and like, you know, people are shooting their
And you're
shots.
Tiffany's mum?
People are shooting. Yeah, no, people were coming up to my mum like, you're Tiffany's mum. Hello. But people were shooting their shot like, I'd love to work for you and I'd love to see this. She was just like, wow,
Oh, my daughter.
well done. And
Yeah.
and that honestly, like, that meant so much to me, because, you know, she's the person that introduced me to fashion and this whole
now
thing.
look.
So yeah.
You know what,
It's
Tiffany?
cool.
I'm so happy that you just said what you just said, in terms of finally just stopping to acknowledge what you've done, because you deserve it. Obviously, speaking about your upbringing, the background you've had, going back to Canada,
Yeah,
all the difficulties you faced, for you to be achieving what you're achieving with no help is amazing. When I say no help, I don't mean like, you know, he helped, but I mean like tangible investment.
Yeah,
and all
there's
these things.
been no
Tiffany,
investment at all. Yeah.
you've done incredible.
Thank
and I'm
you.
so happy we've had this
Me
conversation
too.
now, because I hope that every time you're facing different difficulties in your career or whatever, or different milestones, you can always come back to this and realize, you
100%.
know what, I achieved this from this, and
Yeah.
now I can go on to do whatever else I want to do. So
Yeah.
big up you, Tiffany.
Thank
man.
you so
Honestly,
much.
it's
Thank
been
you.
an amazing conversation. I'm gonna start rounding off in a sec.
Yep.
Obviously, we have this wonderful bag here. Nika came up with the great idea to put your product there.
Yeah.
Just talk to us a bit about this. What bag is it? Why did you design it in this way?
Yeah, so this is the Jane bag croc leather black. Jane bag is one of our most popular bags, the camo one specifically, but this is our first like full leather one. It was originally launched in the workwear collection. So workwear was really inspired by like ranches and the history, specifically on like American ranches, which can be looked back to like slavery actually, really. But you know, the producing of like leather and denim and what those workers would wear. And I just went on this whole tangent basically, and that created the collection workwear. But honestly, workwear was kind of the collection that propelled us socially. Like, that's the one that was doing really well on social and stuff. So people love that collection. This was a pop-up exclusive, but we've put a few pieces of it on the website, so you can shop it kind of wherever you are. What else do I want to say about it?
It's gorgeous. It's definitely unisex as well.
Yeah, it's full leather. We use 100% real leather. I'm really like, that's a key thing as well. Like, I just kind of really want to put out that I just care so much about the quality of the pieces and the items, and that's why we choose to use full leather. This is actually customized croc leather, so it's not actually crocodile leather. It's cowhide.
No crocodiles were killed.
No crocodiles were killed. But how amazing is this patterning? Like this 3D patterning is really hard to do without looking like kind of. You know, sometimes croc can look a bit tacky and like not well done. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
It looks great.
What was the other question?
Oh no, that was just the question.
That was
Talk us through the bag. Yeah,
yes.
But thank you. So cool, Tiffanie. Again, thank you for a wonderful conversation.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Good.
I'm like, it's over already.
You are a great interviewee, by the way.
Really?
Like, because like I said, I can just sit back and listen.
Oh,
and
I love that.
It's not like you came with answers prepared, but because you were so transparent and honest, it allowed you to just flow. And I'm sure when you listen back to it, you're going to be like, raw, that's why I did that.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, you're going to love it. But yes, I have one final question for you, Tiffanie, which is if you could give any advice to the next generation of, fashion designers or people that want to get into fashion, what would it be?
It would just be consistency. You don't need to even be the most talented. I know very talented people that don't do anything with that talent. You don't need to be the smartest. I'm not the smartest person ever in the world, like academically, let's say. But it is all about consistency and audacity.
I like that.
Those two right there, you can't fail. If you have the audacity to go for what you want to go for, or enter rooms and like command that space and get what you want done. Like, oh my God, you should hear me on the phone. My mum always laughs when I'm on the phone to like different like shipping people or manufacturers, because she's like, you sound like a mob boss. Like, be a lady. Damn. But no, like you have to have audacity, and then the consistency with you doing it all the time. All those little actions you do amount to the final picture. I think we always get caught on like, okay, but when we reach the end's gonna look like this. It's all about the end. And it's like, it's actually nothing to do with the end. The end is kind of boring. It's like, okay, it's the end.
But I do now. Yeah.
Like, it's all about the start, everything in the middle, and yeah, like just have consistency and audacity.
Wicked. Tiffanie,
That's
I
my
love
advice.
how you used the word audacity, because I'm thinking like when you're eventually shown in like Paris Fashion Weeks and all that, and you compare your start to how other designers there started, it's like you have no right. Yeah. That's what it'd be like, and that's what audacity
and
is.
sometimes that's how you're treated, but you still have to carry on with your audacity. Really, I had all odds stacked against me. You know, if I looked at life that way, but I reprogrammed my mind to be like, I'm not a victim. If you just live in this victim mindset, everything in your life, you're just going to constantly be a victim. It's like, yes, that was my story, and like, it wasn't the best, and there's some things from it that, I really would have preferred to not have happened. But like, you have control of your story from today onwards. So, use that. Don't like just be so linked to your past. I know obviously the past, like we've spoken about for the last like hour or so, it feeds into a lot of why you do the things that you do. But, use that to empower you.
Definitely.
I feel like I've used it to empower me rather than make me a victim.
You have, even when you said how when you went back to your mum, had to go back to your mum's house and sleep there for a month, you felt like a kid again. Yeah. I feel like that allowed you to, like you said, it allowed you to imagine and create.
To play.
And
Yes, exactly. So I just try as much as possible to not be a victim in this life. Sorry. I'd rather be the villain than the victim.
Hey, we've got a title. We've got a title. Tiffanie, thank you so much for a fantastic episode.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
That was wicked.
Thank
cool.
you.
Tiffanie, one last thing.
Sure.
I just need you to look into... Where's Tiffany's camera? It's there. Which one? Oh, I can't
This
even...
one.
This is a camera?
Yeah.
I thought it was a lie. I just need you to look in there and basically say where they can find you, socials and that.
Okay, cool. Okay. Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
You can find me... Wait, let me actually start with the brand. You can find our brand at Parallel X Studio on all platforms. Our website, parallelxstore.com. On my personal socials is OMG Tiffanie on all platforms.
Wicked, thank you. And obviously, you know where to find us, WMTV_LDN on, TikTok, Instagram. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You can see that we're in a new studio now. We're going to be from recording from here going forward. I hope you guys like it. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and keep it locked.